Alright.
Does that mean we're live, Tessa?
Yes.
Does that mean we're live?
We are live.
Are we live?
Hello, everyone.
Helicopter's looking for Travis, huh?
We're live,
As soon as he
bro.
showed up.
Okay, everyone, just know we are live. Everyone can hear and see what is on the
And
camera.
action.
All value citizens.
We got 3 people watching right now. Hi. Hello to everyone watching. Okay, so I'm Tessie Pereno. We're at an undisclosed residence. And
And they're looking for us.
we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here. I will introduce us. So let's see, we'll start with, let's go with who's here to my right. This is my co-host on the Rewire,
It's
Luis
Luis. Yeah, even though
Lima.
y'all can't really see me.
No, you
Luis
don't.
Lima,
Okay, well,
Local 6.
yes. Local 6, he's here. We have Travis, Local 617.
Producer.
Right? He's the producer. He helps with our show. Thank you so much for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
In the background, we have Sean Larson, Local 332. Want to say hi or question?
Hey, guess we're getting a shot.
Yeah, get in the shot, man. This is
You know, this was a cameo.
Yeah, you're all in the shot now,
Sean
baby.
Larson, Local
Here, you want to sit?
332.
You can sit in between. We
Yeah,
can,
there's room on
What
the
else?
bench.
we can get tight. Come on, Walker.
Okay.
Come on.
Get your narrow ass in here. Let's go.
Walker.
Sean and I
Yeah,
were
you ain't got no weight on him.
This is Walker. We were together at CH Reynolds for a good period of time. Awesome dude. I hope you get to meet him someday.
Hope
Okay.
Well,
All
I
right.
ain't never seen him so quiet. He always talks.
no,
I need a beer.
what the problem was.
What's here? And then, okay, now we have, I want to introduce Jason. Okay, let me introduce my husband. Jason, do you want to say hi real quick? This is my
Yo.
husband, Jason Pereno, former Local 32 member. Now he works directly with Stanford
Hey, you
University.
moved on to the promised land.
Now,
Get in here, Sean.
Whatever, man.
Come on, bro.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Jump in.
all right.
How low can we go?
There's
Come
one
on,
right here.
Sean.
Sean, get in here. Get in here.
Someone's gonna love you. You just don't know who.
See, this is why I didn't want to sit here, because look at the microphone's right in my face. Look at that. Completely blind. I feel like Wilson.
Oh,
Damn, bro.
perfect. Oh my god. Okay, now I have 2 special guests. Now we know as S&C, we need to rely on. We have to find who our allies are. The inside wireman corps, right? So corps. Okay. So I have one person who was formerly an S&C member. He also served as S&C agent for how many years, John?
10 years.
For 10 years, he served as S&C agent. He's now inside wireman, but he is still with us in spirit, right?
Of course.
He's got a
So
killer
that is John Santel. John
That
Santel,
shirt
thanks
is
for being
hot,
here
bro.
with us.
That shirt is hot.
Oh, yeah.
Don't knock over the
Everyone
camera.
say hi,
One
John.
shot.
You love me.
And he's gone. He ran down the street. Yeah, say his after us now.
Yes, and then John is
We're all on
also,
a list.
John is also running for office for our election 32 this year. He's running for executive board.
Correct.
Okay.
Right on.
So if you have any questions for John during the stream, let us know. We have comments. We're monitoring them. So if you have any questions for him, go ahead and shoot them. All right. The next person to my left over here, another inside wireman who also served our S&C agent for how many years?
6 years.
For 6 years. Yeah. He is also running for office as business manager for our local, and that's Pete Reyes. Hi, Pete.
How you doing?
All right.
What about his nickname?
Pedro? Which one?
No, the
Yeah,
other one.
What's
The
the
new one.
what's the new one? I don't know.
Those are alter ego.
They're all derogatory, so either one will work.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This is private stream. It's good. Private stream.
He's all, first of all, lower your voice.
Yeah. I put it on comments. There you go. Okay.
Nobody calls me that before
Wait.
9 p.m. on Friday.
Someone said Cassie's pretty face. Here I am. I'm right here.
Which
Don't
pretty
worry.
face? I think I'm the only one who's pretty here, but who knows?
That's right.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I think
I'm
everyone
here.
shows their face on the camera, right? Okay.
I can't see
Yes.
my face on camera.
So,
This microphone.
yeah, please go ahead, send your comments. We will see them and we will get to them too. So, all right.
No.
So I brought you all here for this barbecue because I haven't seen a lot of
Thank you
you
for having us.
for so
Yeah, thank you.
long, and I missed you guys during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Wow.
Sean, I haven't seen
Like
since
4 or 5 years.
before COVID, right?
Yeah.
He has a kid now. He's married. Oh my God. So
Sean got a kid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my helmet on, but dude, I can't
His
help it,
bocce
man.
ball business is booming.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, a lot of us haven't seen each other for so long, especially with COVID and everything. So, like now we're coming together. And we have a lot to talk about because we have negotiations this year again, and we need to get ready for that because I think the last one we weren't very prepared for, in my opinion. So let's talk about the issues that are relevant now because what we were talking about before, might still be issue, might not. We might have some new ones that have come up, especially with the recession happening or in the midst. I don't know if we're in it or I don't know what's going on with that.
Jay Powell says everything's fine. It's
It's
transitionary.
all good.
Transitory.
Transitory.
So
We're weathering the storm.
Bud Light.
We're transitioning.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pop on the screen some of our proposals that we've had in previous negotiations. So let me share my screen with you real quick. Alright, so this is, I'm gonna go to proposals that we had in 2019. So that's a couple of contracts ago. So we still see the screen, okay. Well, for us, here. Okay. So we had now this is from my local 32. We had top 5
I saw
proposals.
that when I was driving. I was laughing.
One, okay, all right. Well, we were actually interested in breaking out of addendum 2 contracts. We wanted to actually separate from that, and I think one of the things that we should strive to do, and hopefully we can achieve one day, is to just go back into our inside wireman contracts. S&C should be just like another scale, just a different wage scale, but all their benefits should be the same. All the working conditions,
Sure.
That makes sense.
Go back to IESB.
because in reality, S&C only
Wait.
exists.
Does UAS do with the Sparkies as well?
Yes, it is.
Our local-
Our local does you.
Now I know benefits is harder to achieve, but I think we can at least get on the same contract as our inside wiremen, because we're in like the 9th district benefits package, and if we leave it, I know we would really hurt the outside S&C locals. But I think at least we should try to get onto the contracts of our respective inside wireman contracts for various locals, and
You mean piggyback?
pretty much. I
Wage
mean, well,
increases.
the wage would be different. We would have our own S&C wage, but the contract language would be the same. Would be in the same contract.
So do you think that would be able to be done with one negotiation?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
So-
that's something that would probably over time, or it has to be. That would take a lot of managing and figuring out because just because inside and S&C negotiate separately,
Mhm.
we would have to somehow combine it in a way. And I think we would have to come from the inside wireman negotiations. Hey, we
Yes.
want to include S&C into our contract.
Yeah.
So
That would require one of us to be at the table.
yes, that require one of us to be on the table, and we have to work with our inside wireman leadership. Who, they're all inside wiremen, right? To be on board with that.
Yeah. So as it stands right now, right, the big four, the big five, sorry, the big 5 are 617, 332, 595, 684, Monterey County.
Yeah.
Monterey is 230.
Yeah.
234 are in Schedule A, right? So that's one big block, and there's the island, level 6. So if we can negotiate, and over the past couple of negotiations, Schedule A, which is those big 4, has kind of negotiated on its own. It's pulled away from the other 2 schedules, or the other 3 schedules, right? And Local 6 has been bunched up with them, which didn't really hurt at all, right? It was actually pretty good. But so doing these negotiating these schedules individually is probably the first step to that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's not a breakup. It's not a breakup. it's an individual negotiation. So,
And so yeah, local sector has already been trying that for the past two negotiations, right? Trying to negotiate separately. So what I have written here, word for word, is for our first thing for our top 5 was breaking out of District 9 W2 contracts. Each S&C local gets absorbed back into their respective inside agreements, earning a percentage of inside wage. 75% is the national standard already. And then we'll still stay in District 9 benefit plan. And if this was not possible, the plan B was just for the big locals. So you said 6, 332, 617, 595 West, and 234 to negotiate separately the wage.
yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So concerning the 332 top 5 list there, why?
Why?
Why do you want to break out of that
We have the leverage. We have the market share. We have
in 332?
it will. When I say we, I'm talking about the big 5, which is
Okay.
6, 332, 595, and 240, 84,
Yeah.
234.
234, right? So this
617.
at 617 is big 5. We have the leverage. We have the market share. 595 East, 340s doing their own thing. They're negotiating their own schedule.
Okay.
So as the base, as the center of this thing, we can all rise up together.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the locals will come with us. The outlying, the 180s, the 551s, stuff like that,
Yeah.
come with us, And so
So why does
So
the 332 proposal ask us
separate out of
separate out of
that.
that 9th district?
So we want to get absorbed back into the inside wireman contract because the benefits, the contract language in our inside wireman contract is way better than in the S&C W2 contract. Way better, right? And so local 32 S&C live and work in the same jurisdiction as 332 inside wireman. We will be dealing with this. We're on the same job sites. Our issues are more similar than me and level 6. Me and 617 because we work in the same jurisdiction,
Okay.
dealing with the same contractors, and it would be so much easier for our agents at the hall if they only had one contract to refer to, not an inside contract, an S&C contract, a residential contract. All of us, even residential, should be on the same contract with just different wage scale.
So I've always been one where real change comes from the membership, comes from the people in the field. So just changing where your contract's now signed or where contract you're a part of now won't change that enforcement in the field if the people in the field don't respect the agreement that they're signed under. So just changing the venue to a different contract and inside agreement, do you think that will solve the problem? Or do you think you'll still have the main problem of membership needs to back up whatever agreement's there? Whatever agreement they're working under today, you need to.
We need to work
So
on
is it going to solve all the problems? Or is the first step?
self-enforcement.
So this is one problem we'll solve. Our own leadership will actually understand what's our contract language because right now, a lot of our leadership have a hard time grasping our contract.
Okay, so why make it easy for your leadership? Why don't you just ask your leadership to step up?
Well, I know because it's slower to
That's
get
still,
them to do that.
but that also comes from
You put them in the inside
Yeah.
or the outside pitch?
no,
It's right there if you look
got a
up.
command
that
part.
phrase.
It's in the little.
Yeah, it's in the just
And
No,
easy
that's a
peasy.
very,
A lot of times
that's very true though.
a lot of
Robbie
times people
Walker.
don't like. They have this weird. I don't know what has maybe trickle down economics in the Bush era made people believe that things happen from the top down. It don't work that way. It happens from the bottom up. The people rise up and change things. The bureaucrats and the politicians and the guys holding all the red tape, they ain't the ones that change things. We are.
when we hold the power.
Yeah. So
People are scared.
yeah. So getting over that fear, it's kind of like learn how to ride a bicycle. Yeah, you're scared in the beginning, but you get on that thing and just keep going. You might fall a couple times.
And I'm not saying that that's not a good idea. I'm an inside wireman. I don't have the same, I didn't grow up the same as someone in S&C field. I was an inside wireman, cable splasher, this and that. I was in a different set of tools, different set of rooms. I don't have the same experiences growing up. But one of the founding ones is that you have to be able to speak up for yourself, the guy you're working with, the person you're standing next to, and that changes a lot of it. So I'm not saying that that's not an awesome goal to have. I'm just saying, make sure you secure the footing
Yeah.
before
So
you make any
what
push.
I get out of this is that would solve one problem. It would improve conditions for S&C dramatically, which is part of the Constitution to keep improving conditions of all electrical workers. But it does not solve the problem of our classification. They said not stepping up, not speaking for the terms of our agreement, making sure it's being enforced. It does not solve that problem. And
So your task, everyone's watching, and even the ones that ain't watching after, is to start enforcing this contract. That's just you're gonna have to put on your big boy, big girl pants and start putting your foot down.
yeah, we need to strengthen each other and strengthen our classification so that we improve things for ourselves and for those around us.
And for 6, the whole idea was to negotiate the schedule by itself because we already have the structure there for it. So why not use it? 340's doing it. 340's negotiating on their own. Their date is different. So hey, let me know. Can y'all hear that?
My
Y'all can hear that, we'll do
AC,
something about it.
my AC unit just turned on. So let me know if that's too loud. I turned off the AC, so my husband must have turned it on.
So
Oh boy, we got a Sparky who's gonna turn off the breaker. Is that right? As long as you can put it back on.
Hey, Walker.
As long as you can put it back on later.
You had me.
so let us know if y'all can hear me or not.
Flash into the.
If y'all can hear me, let me know.
Really rough.
See.
It's really rough.
But
Anybody
I
watching?
really-
Let me
I'm
hear.
really smart.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay,
very
cool.
much so.
We'll continue on. Do you want to?
So what was
Oh,
it?
why?
So the whole intention
That's what I
behind
was saying. He asked me if I brought it.
the whole intention behind local parks is negotiate.
John's over here like, who's trying to say?
Yo.
Sorry.
So we already had the structure there in order for us to negotiate our own, which didn't mean we're going to be breaking away because essentially everyone else still had the ability to come in the 6. The only thing would be that that by law you had to translate that. I've been drinking a little bit. By law, you have to pay the guys local 6 rate, and the goal was to it be a big nice chunk and then reach our hand back and go. You know what I mean? That's kind of the whole intention for the ism itself, right? Is to bring your people with you. You know what I mean? And since local 6 had the structure to do so, we kind of wanted to take advantage of that fact and kind of get the ball rolling.
Lou, you can.
Okay, can you raise round to go on to the second one, number 2?
Wait, Trav.
Or we got
What's up?
Travis, you
I
got
I can't but say also the not just like portability, but it's in times of fat, it makes it easier to start to break things down into smaller figures, and then in times of lean, these ideas of greater. I don't know the word right now.
Aspirations.
Yeah. It looks a little far out,
Yeah.
and so
That was the
think
goal during the busy season.
yeah,
Yeah.
2019
This was
to
2019,
today.
Yeah.
I think as a group, and that's really I felt like what we're trying to convey through this stream to the membership is that we are kind of in a uncharted waters. Even it's different now than it was even in 2008. And I wasn't even in. I mean, I was working non-union in 2008, but I wasn't in the union trades. But it's different than that recession. It's going to be. We're in a very different space, and we're going to need to put our thinking caps on and really kind of figure out where we are from San Jose, San Francisco, the East Bay, and
San Mateo,
further
California.
out.
You know what?
Yeah.
Everybody here, all you OGs that were here during the .com bust and the 08 recession, let us know. Does this feel almost the same or not? Especially you guys that were S&C. You know what I mean? Well, we're not talking S&C, but we want to know if this thing, because I'm telling you now, the first recession in 08, that's on the outcome of that, on the ascent of that. I came into the union, 2012. I came in the busy season, right? right?
Same here.
So this is my first recession in the union,
Yeah.
right? Some of y'all have been here for that bust and the '08 bust. So let us know in the comments if this is looking the same or if it's different. And if it's the same, then let's go, because if we have a point of reference, we can create a strategy.
Yeah, a lot of us are, got in after 2008, when it started to boom again. So this is going to be our first time we ever experienced a recession. But we do have two OGs here who have experienced 2008 too. So do you guys feel that we're kind of going into, this feels similar to 2008, or is it like still better than what you guys experienced at that time?
What do you think, John?
Do you think we're headed there?
I don't think so. We had the market tank hard with the housing crunch.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the same thing. Leading indicators aren't pointing towards that. Yeah, there's a lot of people hurting right now. Yes, there's unemployment's creeping up. Yes, we have a lot of people on the out of work list.
The economy is still strong.
The economy is still strong, and inflation is at an all-time low for the past 3 years. So
All-time high.
Hi.
it's at its lowest right now.
Right at this moment.
At this moment.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been creeping up, but it's coming back down. It's its lowest it's been.
Sure.
So I'm not a businessman. Y'all should know that. I represented the working men. I represented the men and women of the IBW, and I'm not seeing near the hurt. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it doesn't feel the same to me at all. I think what this does is these kind of times create fear in members. I think the employers love that. I think it makes people job scared.
Yeah.
And you see it. I see it on the jobs that I'm going around to right now, down here in the South Bay. And it's never good to see a guy or gal job scared. That shouldn't be happening. We should have more confidence in what we have in that. As far as if go ahead, Pete.
No, go ahead. You good?
So as far as breaking out, I like that idea. I just don't know whatever happened to the 75%, because we had that campaign in the 2000s, the earlier 2000s.
That hasn't gone away, brother.
And I don't know why that can't be implemented. Or you're a few percentage points behind. The health and welfare is a little different, but if you go to a 75% hybrid scale in the Bay Area, we went as far in negotiations as to sit and computate every inside package and come up with a mean number and attack it from that angle. And there were a couple employers that they kind of liked it. Now, I don't know if they were giving us lip service or not, but that didn't rule the day.
Things don't seem to be. There seems to be a lot of lip service coming from other parties.
Sure.
And the feeling I got was that we're willing to entertain that. First, let's talk off the record. Right.
Larger
red flag.
So it's kind of like they're not really taking people. Some people, I'm not gonna say but some people ain't taking it seriously, and what they don't realize is that they're playing with people's wages here. They're playing with people's livelihoods,
cost of living,
and
and how they decide their children's future.
And they're also overlooking market share and what that does to market share. Because if someone's like making claims that I'm gonna go out of business if I gotta pay these guys that much, well, maybe you're playing the wrong game.
Well, that then gives you the right to open up their books if you want to really talk about it.
Right? So
employer makes that kind of claim.
and I would love that kind of commitment from brass,
Maybe
He just looked at me
statement.
like,
Backing that statement up.
So that's kind of no one's looking at that picture. I don't think anyone's taking the 75% seriously.
It's good enough for the rest of the country.
We're gonna keep on pushing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Nationally, right?
So we want to keep on pushing, but at the same time, since we're all, 7 locals, 6 locals that are really active, 551, Local 6, 332, 595 West, 617, and 302, 180. I don't think they sent away last time, but maybe 302. They always have someone there, right? There's 6 really active locals in this area. It's hard to get everyone on the same page. And I think time has to be taken to get that message and that direction dialed in. We zero that damn rifle, and then we get after what we need, because with a bunch of propositions and asks and wants and everything, it's easy to whittle it down and distract someone with this, and let's talk about this. Well, how about this? Oh, this is interesting, and how about this? And I don't mean to change the subject, but I think with one clear message, it could be a lot easier to get it more.
The 75% has been a nice goal, but the negative of it is it does tie us to a percentage, and that means we can't increase that, or it would take more negotiating to increase that 75%. If you ever want to make it 80 or 90 or 100. And also, we also have other locals in our addendum too that are already very close to inside rate for their local. It's not above 75. Yeah. They're probably already above 75%.
Yeah.
So that would hurt them if we made it 75% across the board. So that's the only negative.
When we look at the majority of hours worked, I think that's what we would have to do.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, like, we would look at the majority of hours worked. But I think in the fairness of the union, which I don't know if that's a thing, but you wouldn't ever want to bring somebody back. You can't. Yeah. I don't know. I've only been in this a decade, but generally speaking, it doesn't really seem like we go back. No.
Hey, wait. How? I've been in here a decade. How about you?
10 years. Yeah.
Same. Yeah? I gotta ask John.
26.
And Pete been in here forever too. Hey, Walker,
about 20.
How long you been around for?
12 years.
12. So we all pre-adolescents in this game, man. We all the youngsters, bro. So we all been here about 10 years.
But the future of the industry, the electrical industry, is I feel in my heart of hearts, and I've felt this way for a long time, is going to be mostly dictated by VDV sound and comm.
Amen.
It's gonna that is gonna grow more and more and more.
Can y'all hear that? Please let me know. I asked in the comments already, but let me know if y'all can hear John. John's talking some real stuff right now.
They're projecting a major lack of labor in the electrical market in the next 10 years. Yeah. Transition to more electrical energy saving systems
and smart systems.
Yep.
Network systems, and with the fact that fire life safety is being expanded, California, we've been on it for the last 10 years, but nationwide,
huge.
It's going to be everywhere, and
so
our field is the youngest field, or S&C. We're the younger trade out there. That means we're probably going to be lasting longer than the people that have been in this before us.
I think it's going to merge, truthfully.
Or integrate, merge.
Eventually,
it
should.
Stuff.
It will. I think it will.
When the dollar hours, when the man hour dollar hours, and they're starting to send inside guys for work, and we're going to have to figure it out.
They're going to have to update the grid. We literally almost need to, I think, triple the capacity this country has, and most of the country. A lot of the stuff back east is 80, 100 years old in their infrastructure. So when they update that, that's top down, literally on the work, because all that has to be monitored. That means, more charging stations, more data centers, because everything is so information intensive.
Yeah. All of it. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, our livelihood depends on us getting to 75, because at 75 or 80. We can call it a minimum of 75.
I like 80.
I like 80.
I like 80. I like 90. I like 95. 7.7.
But 80 is a talking point.
Yeah.
80 is a talking point. We can get to 80, and then 10 years from now, we can say, are we 80% of inside?
Anything you put into that agreement, contract, any business, that's your foundation. Your next time at the plate, you always want to go further than that.
And it does
kind of set that base.
And it does kind of make you think about how hard management has been playing ball. I mean, granted, we've gone to DC since I've been in the trade as an apprentice. Every time I had to ask John. You guys can't see him on camera, but I had to ask him, is CIR just the normal thing? He said no, but it is the normal thing for us right now.
Yep.
We always have to go to this negotiation. And in 2019, famously, I won't say the man's name, he said, this is the best you're going to get. Take the deal. Don't go to CIR. And we got better because we are in a very bountiful area, but we have a history of shortchanging, and we have accepted said shortchanging as a labor union. And
Okay.
yeah.
So now we gave it a name. Now it's time to change that narrative.
Yeah.
We're getting shortchanged and we accepted it. Now it's time to not accept it.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were supposed to pass down the line.
Someone just busted out a bottle of Hennessy. What the heck?
Hey, anything's possible, guys.
Anything is possible.
If you're watching with us, go grab yourself a shot right now because I think we're about to take shots.
And to all my sober people, you know, get a shot of Red Bull.
It's cool to be sober too.
I was cool to be sober. I was 4 years.
It might even be cooler.
Might even be
Did
cooler.
you bring that?
If you were sober, you wouldn't be in S&C.
Did you bring that?
This is a great live stream.
Oh my god.
You know what you're talking about right now.
This is a
Oh
great
my
live
god.
stream.
I'm saying.
You guys should smell the sausages cooking. Just letting you know.
Oh.
Walker is making it happen
You see
right
me
now.
looking over there all the time. I'm not distracted. I'm just smelling.
All right, so are we ready to go on to number 2
Yes,
now?
let's go to number
two.
All right, let me
Nobody's
show
more
it
interested than
on the
that dog.
screen. All right, guys, so number
saying.
2.
No,
This is again.
No, yeah, that's
This
true.
is again.
Oh, we are
She's-
very live.
She's in there
No, I
like
know.
swimming.
I've never tuned in.
Back to 2019 contract proposal.
Is she a girl?
Number 2 is about apprenticeships. Or apprentices. Yes. Number 2 for us was apprentice rotation.
Okay, so
Apprenticeship changed to 4 years. Oh, hold on. Oh, you wanted it changed to 4 years. Bargaining chip for rotation with rotation after your first 2 years of service. Plan B was each apprentice must work for at least 2 companies during their apprenticeship. If by year 1.5 apprentice has not worked for a second shop, apprentice must be rotated. So, okay, let's just talk about our apprenticeship and our apprentices and what we want to change with that.
so
Now, that was 2019. So what's our status for our apprentices now and what we want to see our
I
apprenticeship
think
go?
I'm going to give my seat up. I want Walker to talk about apprenticeship.
Okay.
Yeah.
so wait, before we do that, a toast to the
All
class
right,
of
here we go.
2023.
Okay.
They
Wait, I
just
don't
graduated.
have
They've been
shakes
in
here.
graduation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have a
Class of
shake.
2023.
Class of
The
2023.
class of 2023, y'all.
Class of 23, MJ. Huh? they got the good number.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I don't know if you want me to talk
No,
about
no. He has a very good insight right now.
We'll
Come
step
on.
up, Walker.
I got pissed.
Jay,
Should
can
be
you hit
easy.
me with another
Just
beer,
had a shot.
please?
I know he doesn't want to talk publicly.
Smooth.
That's all
No,
right.
you don't have to say any names, but
It's smooth and
honestly,
it's cold.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm
having
running
fun.
jobs
Thank you.
Yeah.
and I'm running
Yeah.
apprentices.
What's
This
this
guy
over?
is an
Yeah,
intermediate.
All right.
And
There you go, man.
I think he has something to say.
lightweight disappointed in the state of our apprentices right now.
Can you speak louder?
He is disappointed in our
What-
apprentices. Why?
What stands
Why?
out?
They can hear him.
Don't be shy, bro.
I don't.
Elaborate.
There's a couple instances I've had where I've been great with leading people. I've led large groups of people. Even out at Apple, I've led up to 11 guys underneath me. Sometimes people double my age. I've had these groups. I've been a great teacher. I've always tried to pride myself in not being that. I try to teach every person I come across. I try to teach them everything I know, and I want them to succeed, and I want them to be better than me. I want them to be as good as better than me. But
Because together we're successful. Right?
together we're successful.
Not
And it's-
everyone's like that.
and when I was an apprentice, I was kind of like gate kept by certain people, and it was infuriating, and I really didn't appreciate it, and I never wanted to do that to anybody else. So I give my knowledge as soon as I can to anybody who would listen. But there's like that. I've noticed recently that kind of like I'm not like a hard ass. I'm not like that kind of so that chill notion of mine kind of gets ran over, and I've had first year apprentices kind of just listen to me if it was easy, like I've had them ask for my opinion on certain things, but then also just kind of do what they want if it's easy. So I'm like, where's that point where I need to, you know, step in and be that asshole? But to the point, like, you want to ask for my opinion on certain things, but then you want to kind of like pick and choose when you wish to listen to me.
Sure. Or apply what you just
Yeah. So it's like I've had some like problems with that recently, but also, I mean, I still think they're picking up. I still think they're taking a lot. I just need to, you know, I don't know where to, you know, to draw that line to where do I need to, you know, get on people, you know, and
It's tough
So do
because
you think what do you think the solution to that problem is? What would be the first thing you would do? Is it figuring out when to approach that apprentice or when to approach that class, or do you think it's something that?
and I have no problem with taking a person and pulling them aside and be like, hey, like, if you're gonna ask for my opinion, you're at least gonna respect it. Because if you're gonna ask for my opinion and then just do something different, then you clearly don't have any respect for my opinion. And as a person who's been doing this for, you know, 12 years compared to someone who's been doing it for barely a year, like, you know,
Yeah.
there should be.
That might be a more broader problem with just the way these kids are brought up these days.
it's a younger generation. It's a younger generation.
So the apprentice I'm
They just
mentioning,
don't know how to listen.
the apprentice I'm mentioning,
Yeah.
were older than me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He was older than you?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But also-
that could be because you're younger. He's like smaller too.
Mm,
Right?
I've dealt with that my whole
Yeah.
career.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I think apprentices need to go back to school for a week.
Amen.
Oh yeah.
I think
sure.
apprentices need that because I went for a week.
I went for a week.
And for my last 2 years, I worked nights while I went to school for the week because California State didn't want to like help me out with unemployment. And luckily, I worked for a company.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say the company. Everybody who knows me knows what company I work for.
I think we
And they worked me at night, and I did the apprenticeship. But like my guy, you know, and there's a guy who's sitting with me. I worked for a first year. I know if I would have not listened to him, he would have been like, "You're not coming to work tomorrow." Like, I had to listen to him, and there is a disconnect going on in our apprenticeship, and it's gotten a little loose. And I don't know if it. Like, I feel sometimes like I might be the problem. Like, am I not like you said? Am I not doing the right thing? Because like I know that when I was an apprentice, I was listening.
Am I not teaching properly?
Yeah. It's there's something going on, and also I think like the people that we're bringing in. I mean, some of the guys, especially if they came from a previous low voltage, and that's the problem. Like it's such a wide band. Like, oh, you did direct TV for 2 years, and now we're doing fire alarm and smoke control and relays, and it's you know, but they're like, I did this for 2 years. No, but you didn't do this.
Yeah,
for
you
2
did
years.
this. So speaking on that, even jacks and patch panels and just testing. Guys come in and an installer, they don't even know how to use a fluke tester. They don't know how to terminate a jack. They can't do an RJ45 to save their life.
Okay, so that was me when I first organized in '96.
Oh.
Because I was one of those cable TV guys. I could tell you anything and everything from the point of origin of the satellite all the way to the customer's television set. But I didn't know anything about a 66 block, a 110 block.
Tornations.
But
I don't know what we talking about.
but I had somebody show me.
Yeah.
And then I showed other people.
Well, that's also
And the big thing is when you run across those folks, because I was one of them, you have to take them under your wing and show them. Because if the knowledge dies with you, what good is it?
Then
If
the
you
whole
die
thing
tomorrow with
dies.
that knowledge and you
Well,
haven't
and
shared it,
then
what good is it?
And I was talking to some guys at a riser company today, right? And they said the exact same thing as you did. Guys don't want to teach.
No.
I think that there's a bad, I'm not gonna say inundated, but I think there's a bad culture growing in our thing where guys don't want to teach, and it's that whole starving man mentality that the non-union gives you.
Yeah, I told you when I was an apprentice, I was like I said, I got like kind of gate kept by people, and it's like, you know, people scared for their jobs and stuff like that.
Like, how dare that
And
happen
then
in
I
our
did my
system?
thing and I took their jobs.
And that's but how do we? And I want to ask you because you were there my first year. which is like this is kind of a trip that we're doing this whole thing now, John. It's kind of a trip, man.
You're all the way back to
How do
Genesis.
we, because like I'm teaching him and he is teaching the apprentices, but we're not
teaching me fire. Like, I've never done. I've done it 12 years, but I've never done fire.
Yeah, so
Well,
and you taught me fire.
Yeah.
Right. So, it is part of the old saying that the teacher can't teach unless the student's willing to learn.
Can't fill
So
classes
right
on
now
it.
in society, we're dealing with the repercussions of COVID for 2 years. That changed the mentality. That's a game changer, big time for a lot of people. Subliminally or right on the surface, right, overt, covert, whatever you want to say.
Mentally.
It did, and then you've got a different generation of folks that are coming up, men and women are coming up, and society itself is shaping workers different. Graduating from high school,
All of that's true, but this is nothing that hasn't been dealt with
Yeah.
years and years and years. When I first got in
but the difference,
because when I got it in
today is
when I got in '94, right?
yes,
My first J Dale was going to retire. He was 63 years old in 1994. When did he was born in 1931, right? He was working as a young man in
was born in the
1950.
Depression.
Yeah, post-war,
1950, right?
boom time.
He was that journeyman, that GF in 1962. And he's got some punk in 1994 that he's trying to teach. So, and he was saying, hey, I had a Commodore 64 and an Atari. I was so tech.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do with it, right? And how
probably-
funny does that sound now,
So
right?
And he probably thought you were young.
So
and
it-
lazy.
so what you saying? So
It
basically,
happens. We, as the ones, now that you have 10, 12 years in, and you're the big dogs on the job site, you're coming up with the same issues that 64-year-old guy did and this 49-year-old guy did multiple times throughout my career. I was the young guy on the job site, the young GF, and then the other guy, and then the young agent in the hall, and then now the older guys out in the field.
so what you're saying
You
is
have to
we're part of the
continue.
same site.
You have to
it
continue
is.
to
Generational problem.
step up. You have
So
to continue to step up. Right now, you got Walker in your belt. He's got another notch under his belt because of Travis. He's continuing to step up. So when you get those apprentices, you get those people out, you have to continue to step up. And a lot of it is just that. What John said. You got to be able to pull them aside, reach them. There's something there. There's something that connects all of us,
Yep.
even if it's just we all have that yellow ticket.
Yeah.
There's something there that connects us all. And somehow we just have to grow as leaders, as foremen, as GFs,
Right.
as senior techs,
Right.
and learn how to pass that down to the next generation. And someday that punk is going to be 15 years in the trade, and he's going to be like, man, these guys don't listen to that. Right? They don't listen to anything.
Yeah,
So
we
it
all
happens
commiserate.
before, but we as leaders in our own, we have to learn how do we get them to.
That's a
So
very
So
good
that's a
point.
lot of it. So a lot of it is basic leadership principles. It's going to sound corny, right?
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
basic leadership principles.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, then fine. But you go look at there's a Admiral McCraven was an admiral in the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL. He has multiple videos, multiple books out, but it's Make Your Bed.
Yeah.
His thing was start out the day with one positive thing. He has several books. He's great to listen to. You want to learn about leadership? Read his book. Listen to his audio book.
Say his name again.
William McCraven.
And the first thing he wants you to do is make your bed.
When
Yeah.
you get up in the morning,
Got to get a win.
how do you start?
You gotta
get
There's a lot of stuff happening on
I
camera.
heard the same quote. I heard the same quote, and I told her the same quote, and now she's nodding her head.
I'm gonna bring my camera next time. They got two cameras.
You just dropped the mic over there. You just dropped the mic, walked away.
Drop the mic.
What the-
I'm surprised you dropped the Modelo.
You gotta start with a
You
win.
gotta start the W's.
I make my side of the bed with my wife in the bed. Sometimes she gets upset, and I tell her, look, I wash my face, I drink a cup of water, I make my side of the bed. You have to start with a win, because I might lose for the rest of the day. It might be a consecutive series of losses, and you're correct. How do we connect though? Because like
All right.
I don't know.
If you
Walker
wanna-
has a
if you
really
wanna-
good point. Like these apprentices coming in, and it's not just a generational
Well,
thing.
if I can leave, before I leave on something, if I can leave on this, there was a great journeyman that taught me something. He told me from the beginning. He said, I'll teach you everything. He said, I'll teach you everything that I know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll teach you everything that I know. It's like you could be good as me, but you have to be as good as me. But I'll teach you everything I know to get there.
Bella.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow, Travis.
Yeah.
Good job.
I didn't tell him that.
No, I was apprentice.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't tell him that. I'm teaching him everything I know because I believe you can't be stagnant. If you're a senior tech, like you should be working forward. If your company doesn't have a space for you, trust me, some
Man.
other company does.
Amen.
I worked for a very large company
Dingy.
through my apprenticeship, and
On the
I
grill.
was a foreman. I did a lot of things, and I left, and a lot of people at my company thought I was crazy. But now I'm building something different, and from here I'm going to continue to build something different, regardless. You have to keep moving.
Congratulations.
I was at a-
Don't stop moving.
I was
Because
at I was at a riser management company that did a little data, and I was guaranteed 40 a week, but I was only doing riser and data, right? I took that step. I was there 4 years. I took that step, man, and now I'm a multidisciplinary guy.
Yeah.
I teach. I'm willing to learn. I'm an integrator. Never mind installing. I'm an integrator, and I'm sharing that knowledge with the guys coming in behind me. So I'm an asset to not only the shop that I'm at, or any shop that I'm at, but I also pass that knowledge down.
Yeah.
And that was from the teachings that IBEW gave.
Hey, and honestly,
Right? The brotherhood, that togetherness. Because in the non-unit, it was like, hey, don't look at my screen. This is my job. You know what I mean? And that's not. I'm not no star.
What do you need the press for? You don't need to see the press.
Exactly.
You don't need to see the
wrote it
print.
down on the box for you. That's all I see.
You know, and I want my guys to read the Matrix. And everybody who knows me, look, just in case you haven't known me for a while, I now do jacks. I do all types of data stuff that previously I refused. I went through the S&C apprenticeship, and I was like, I don't touch that. All I do is fire and maybe access if there's no work. But now I do it all because I'm constantly trying to better myself. And it's hard. Trust me, it's hard to be sitting there and knowing that you're like making X amount of dollars and you have to go to X amount of meetings and you have to have somebody, teach you how to do a jack faster or how to do it better. But you have to be a bigger person and learn. And I think we need to give that to our apprenticeship. And I think they need to go to school or at least go to school like inside programs or just go to school for the week like we did it. Because I know they do the online thing and then they go like one Friday. And I don't know. It's not translating in the field.
I think the biggest thing they lose, even just in my opinion, from someone that went through night school, is you lose that solidarity and that brotherhood.
Yeah, with everybody else.
There's you can all be out in the field 12 years later, and you'll all have stories about missing 2 days a week with your family because you were down there at the school. You were there together.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. It's very easy to lay off that cat you've never seen, never met, whatever. But you'll think twice when they say, hey, man, lay off Walker over there. Like, man, I know that guy. He's an awesome dude. He's this and this. Well, he missed the last 2 days. That's not an issue, though. I'm telling you right now, that's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
good
lose
for
that
morale.
when you're just sitting in your living room going to class and you see some guy. How's it turned out with that guy? I don't know.
Which is
You separate them.
I'm
I'm kind of teeny. I would see like, hey, the company sees nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because now your loyalty is to the company that you've seen every day for 5 years.
Man,
not
say
to
that again for
brother
people
that
in the
you're
back.
there.
so
Say that
You know,
for people in the
So
back.
why are we doing it? That's my question. How did we do it as our group? And we had all that money put into that new facility, yet those kids don't go there for a week, which I'm like, I know for a fact they gave up a lot of money on that app.
So we gotta get him back in there, right? We gotta get him back in there. That's
I don't know how you do that. I mean,
we'll find a way. So
we'll find a way.
So I encourage everybody, right, that has the same mentality as we do, that knows what we're talking about, to run for office in your locals. Whether it's e-board, exam board. If you don't have a unit meeting, man, get that thing going, man.
And more than that, just talk on the job.
Yeah.
Say good morning, say hello, and stop running to your car and eat by yourself.
Man, look, I'm at risk of being at a
Stop
party.
running to your car and eat by yourself.
Yeah.
Sit down with your coworkers. Sit down. You gotta sit down with people and chat it up the same way this is happening here.
Yeah, man.
Let people hear that on the job site.
Those dudes from the other shop, those riser management guys,
yeah.
Whole other shop, whole other discipline. I'm doing security, they're doing riser management, but I'm chopping it up.
Yeah.
Saying hello, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I know that guy. He was in your apprenticeship. All right, for sure. And that was a point I was going to bring up. In your generation, in your class, hey, do you know Travis blah blah, or do you know this guy? Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know. Talking to this graduating class, it was like, oh, you know, Lopez, or you know, Burnett?
Never met him.
No. He's like, yeah, I know him. Oh yeah, he's a shooter, bro. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Like, no empathy. No, yeah, I know that guy. No, I'm proud of that dude. If I talk somebody up from your guys' class, it was like, yeah, I know that dude. I know he was worth the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, there was a camaraderie there, and that's something we're lacking, and we need that back. But you know what? COVID was a funky time.
COVID's an excuse.
And
because it's over now.
Yeah, but there's long-lasting psychological repercussions from it.
But someone needs to step out and say, let's go sit at the table.
That's right.
Now it's time
to
make it a point to get back to normal.
It's like a bad relationship. You can't let the bad relationship and the toxic things that you used to do continue throughout your life. Well, I mean, you can. You're going to have 4 ex-wives. Every dollar you make, 80 cents is going to go to alimony. It's going to be rough.
You know, one thing to consider when you're talking to these apprentices that are non-responsive or you don't, just remember that person showed up to take that apprenticeship class. They're doing the best they know how to do at that moment, right? So it's up to you as a leader to try to charge them to do better.
I hope y'all can hear me.
That is your responsibility as a journeyman, as an instructor, as a coworker on the job site.
Yeah.
Because everybody shows up with the best of intentions at that job to do their best. And if they're not, and we need to coach them along and get them up to skill, sometimes it's tough love, baby. Travis, you know that. I was tough on you.
And thank God you were.
You know.
Now I'm the fire alarm guy.
Well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
He had me very green. Taught me structured cabling. You taught me dude, stuff that I'm still doing now. I see your face. I used to kind of be the first week I worked with John. I was a little scared of him. I was like, I didn't know because he was very intense, and he was like, "Are you getting this?" And of course, every apprentice is gonna say yes. So, but then he would ask you later on and be like, "Well, why'd you do this if you got it?" Yeah, and so then I knew I had to kind of be smart, and I guess, I gotta wake up and really be a part. And I guess that's what I'm talking about, John. Is we're having a hard time getting the apprentices to fully engage. And they kind of think and that's the other thing. They're all told, "Ooh, Walker, look at Walker. Walker's the man."
Okay, so,
but they're all told that you're an apprentice, you're going to get work regardless.
I'm going to show a quote.
And I don't know. I don't know.
From someone on stream said, "I'm on the other side now. I've lived by the motto. I want everyone on my crew to know what I know.
Exactly.
So we are all a team. We are.
Hey now.
I agree.
I don't even know.
Shout out Steve Sargent. That was Steve.
That was it.
What, is this all the chicken?
Yeah.
Or the pork?
Steve, you know?
So
chicken.
So my takeaway from this is, okay, I was reminded, when you guys were all talking, I was reminded of the quote, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. Right? The people we teach, the apprentices we teach, we can't force someone to learn from us if they don't want to learn, right? So, but it's our job. So I'm thinking of this too. You know, I have a teaching background, so I know the best ways or methods to help educate. And sometimes, like I think Pete said it, you gotta find the connection. You gotta figure out what these people, what their interests are, and make a connection with them so that they will want to learn from you. Okay, right? See what their strengths are and try to gear them to something that they can do, they can be successful in. Also, I do want to make the note that the best way to do well in this industry is to keep learning. I think you touched on that, Luis. You cannot come in here to our industry and think you know everything. You have to be open to always learning. You guys are eating all the sausage. You're not leaving me any. I'm very mad right now.
Well, we're taking advantage.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll. Keep going, bro.
Oh,
Walker, we might be cooking all the sausage here. Everybody loves it.
What's going on? Next one's
What's going
going
on?
on.
Okay, so go ahead, get some sausage. And I'm gonna real quick. Steve Carroll says, Stephen Quiroz, my bad. Excuse me, I'm not that boy. The more each person, the easier it should be to complete the project. I think I know where you're going with this, and yeah, sure.
Many hands make light work.
Exactly. Many hands make light work. And that's kind of the thing of broadening your horizons. And again, when you touched on Tess, is that guys get in here and they want to find a niche and a PM to hold their hand. Kill that noise. You ain't in that kind of system. This is going away, and it's going away sooner than you think. Okay? You are a valuable worker. And the more you expand your horizons, the more valuable you're gonna be. You ain't gotta rely on no PM to keep you busy. Your presence is your leverage, your knowledge and your effort. That's all for sale, baby. And if they ain't treating you right, I mean right now it ain't good, but when times pick up, go wherever you want. I built my career off of that.
the more knowledge you have, the more power you have, the more you'll be working because you know a lot more. You know fire alarm, you know security, you know data.
Update that skill set every chance you get.
And our industry is always changing, so you have to keep up to date. There's no way for you to know everything. There's no way. You have to keep growing. You have to keep learning. If you don't do that, you're going to fail. And you're going to be the one sitting at home because you can't be relied on the bills to do the job you need to do. All right, so we're on number 3. All right.
Number 3.
All right, number 3.
No, not that many.
Yeah,
Only
31.
But before we go, I do say we need to help our apprentices. We have to improve our apprenticeship, and we gotta get on our JTC committee and get them, motivate them, be on their ass, so that hopefully they'll improve stuff.
I hear you, but now we're here for the members, and we want to know what's up with that double bubble. On that note, I'm gonna walk in front of the camera real quick. I read the cue.
Yeah,
I'm a great
number
producer.
3 is overtime. So in 2019, we wanted no more overtime, straight to double time. No time and a half, straight to double time. Plan B was double time after 10 hours and all work performed on Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, 3 and 4 day weekends. So,
Now, I don't think that made it on the proposal list for the entire district.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'd have known we're doing this, kind of wing this, we kind of just hanging out. We're not really. If we had time to prepare, I could have had some of the proposals that came out. Because remember, this was just 3-2 list.
Yeah,
right?
From 2019.
Yep. So Local 6 had a list, 617 had a list, 595 East L. 595 as a whole had a list, and I think 551 had a list too. 551 is really active. You know what I mean? It's their schedule got like pushed out to 88% of what the rest of the locals get, which I don't think is fair. But I digress. But they're pretty active. They get active too. You know what I mean? So the point is that there's way more than just this list, right? And I don't think this one made it onto that large negotiating proposals.
Well, you know what? Overtime, I think it should be on your list. And the reason why is because a lot of us do overtime. Every local does, the members do overtime. And if we were to get an added benefit, it would be to improve our overtime language because more people would actually do that and actually get more money.
So historically, overtime was always put in as a penalty, meaning that you can charge overtime, you can charge time and a half, and the reason that you're paying that penalty of time and a half and double time is because you're going beyond the 8-hour day. You want me to come in and work more than 8 hours?
Yeah.
So it's scheduled. It's built into your contract.
Sacrificing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
time.
So if you're going to
To help you
sacrifice
finish
for this, here's the kind of, I need to sacrifice my time, you're going to pay the penalty.
Yeah.
So if it's now to the point where they're using that as part of that big language, hey, it is a 60-hour a week job, you know, and it's, we do have this, we do have that, it's guaranteed language for them. It's still a penalty. It should still be used as, don't forget why labor added overtime, added double time Sundays, you know, added a language in it. It's still a penalty. It should still be seen that way.
So yeah, and not to be contentious towards any like organization or nothing, but the fact of the matter is we have lives and children that rely on us, right? We have grandmothers and aunties and mothers, fathers, people that we're taking care of, and if you want us to, if they want us to sacrifice time away from that, because honestly, if I'm taking care of my sick mother and I need to go to work on Sunday, then I need to have like my sister or my cousin or my daughter cover for me, right? That's a sacrifice. That sacrifice should be felt across the board. I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm part of a union, and I feel like I deserve that kind of respect. Now, we're talking about shift language and days. Get in there with double time. With double time, that takes away that time and a half that they got to give us. If it's only a 3-day project on weird hours, or a 4-day project on weird hours, or a 2.5-day project on weird hours, it makes that double time. You know, we make 55% less than the electricians. I don't see why that'd be a big deal.
Especially when the contractors already charge overscale, you know, charge our work at inside rate anyways.
Yep. So I mean that's the easy sell for us. Now getting that negotiations to push is gonna take us to get some get right and to practice that ism on the job site. That means taking your breaks. That means all those guys that got their little Bosch drills. That means biting their asses, right? And that nice guy shit ain't flying no more. So all the guys with the little drills, all the guys with their micro scanners. Well, I mean, we're beyond that. Honestly, we're beyond that because there's guys that'll openly say. So I'm not gonna say no names, but there was a hand that wasn't from my local that came to my job and had his own little 12-volt rotor hammer. It was cute. Yeah, it was adorable. It was a little rotor hammer. We're drilling in the brick. You know, we're drilling in the brick. I'm doing a hybrid job. I'm running the AV, the data, and the security. And this dude comes out. He's another senior tech. Comes out of my job and he has a little rotor hammer. That's cute, bro. Look at that shit. I didn't know the shop had this shit, right? He goes, oh no, it's my personal. And immediately, my face. I think my face said everything, right? Because he spun off and ran away from me. So I say, hey, look, go get that back to your van, and don't ever bring that back on the job site because that's your own personal tool.
Not on the tool list.
He had the audacity to say, hey, man, I can do whatever I want. I can bring this if I want to. I said, all right, cool. Immediately, I asked my rep what to do. He gave me a series of steps to do. I did them all. He didn't comply, so I bit him. I put him on blast in front of the whole hall. Everyone in the hall at that general meeting knew his name and knew his get down. Right? Now, needless to say, he never did that again. This is the kind of gumption we need to protect our, because not to badmouth nobody, but he would skip his lunches, and his installers and techs would just follow suit because that was the culture on the job. Right, so that needs to go away. Well, that was a problem because it had been done before by his subordinates. So installers had educated him on it before, but since he's a senior tech, you can't tell me shit. So it took another senior tech to put him in place. Yeah. So
bottom line, he still works in terms of that agreement.
No, yeah, for sure. But you know, it took that official biting the ass to get him to act right, and that's what we gotta do, like it or not. That's just that. So
the thing was that he just trained a whole nother generation of members.
And I'm undoing that now.
It's gonna keep continuing on. We have future
What you allow is what will continue.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. So next on the agenda, or are we still chewing on this guy?
Next one
All right.
is foreman language.
Just so you know, I see a tub of cookies over there now.
Oh.
Yo, bring the cookies.
Bro, where did the cookies come from?
Pass the cookies over here, please.
Right.
John.
Bring the cookies.
What's with the cookies, bro?
Oh, we got more sausages coming. I'm gonna
Oh,
slide
okay.
in.
They ain't special,
We
right?
got J's on.
I'm gonna pass this. Well, I'm a day.
Are we all flying?
No, we're still here. We're still
I live in Daly City.
Where are we at? Have we been talking about double
Who
bubble?
made these? Who made these?
My wife did.
All right, thank you to Walker's wife. What's her name?
Sarah Gold.
Sarah Gold. Thank you for making these for us.
Sarah Gold.
Goldie.
Gold.
Walkman.
Thank you. Walkman. You guys are married now, right?
Speakman.
No.
But it should be
She,
Walkman.
she kept her last night.
Oh,
Very, very. He's like, don't you do that on camera.
Very progressive. I wanted Jason to change to my last name, Carranza, but he didn't want to do it.
Oh.
That's a famous
I
last name.
tried.
Maybe if you make your
The
bed.
kids are gonna have my last.
Maybe.
Maybe if you made your bed.
Yeah. How about you make your bed once or twice and we'll talk about last names, huh?
All right.
All right, what's next on the?
Maybe, okay, I don't even want to go into it, but maybe if he took care of the kids, not just me, then
Right.
I
Oh,
don't
hey,
know.
all right. Oh, okay,
All
okay.
right.
Somebody's got to teach those kids how to play Street Fighter. God damn it.
All right, the next topic is foreman language.
Foreman language. This is a hot topic.
I'm a foreman.
I'm a foreman.
Walker's also a foreman at times.
So in 2019, we had any project inquiring one installer to lay out work for another installer.
Sounds like fun
We're
working for you
laying
guys,
out the work. If you are laying out the work, you should get paid tax. Doesn't matter how many people are under you. If you are laying out the work, you get paid tax. A tech. Any employee in charge of a crew and directing others. A tech should handle no more than 7 workers of any classification. No tech should give orders to or take orders from another tech. No tech should give orders to another installer not under their direct supervision, except in case of emergency. Okay.
But if there's an emergency every day,
Senior tech. When a job has 2 or more techs, the senior tech should be assigned to the job. A senior tech should not supervise more than 5 techs or 40 workers of any classification and does not handle tools. Senior techs shall not give orders to anyone other than techs under their direct supervision. Any worker required to supervise 1 or more jobs concurrently should be paid the senior technician rate of pay. Multiple jobs is when jobs or buildings on the same job site with different job codes are used and being supervised during a single workday. Okay, this is 2019. I know for 2022 we changed that to just copy and paste what the inside wireman had, but this is what we had in 2019. Let's discuss foreman and.
oh, we're getting into deep waters now.
Okay, so I think our biggest problem right now is installers working as techs, but only getting paid installer rate.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest problem. Yes, you guys agree?
Yes.
Well,
Why does that happen?
Why does that happen?
Because the installer doesn't ask for tech pay.
But why do they feel they can't ask for tech?
because the culture has given too much leverage to the shop and the PMs.
Yeah.
The PMs specifically.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to hold some PM's pocket. Now, personally, I feel like if we're gonna change this, we gotta add definitions to our contract. We have to add definitions
Define the
because
foreman.
because in
It's a cookie.
the national VDV,
I want video on that.
the national so the national VDV, right, has definitions. It has definitions, and I feel like does the inside wireman contract have definitions?
We have language similar to like foreman can run up to a certain amount of people. Foreman can have with the tools after having a certain amount of people.
Yeah. So I think the same thing is in 6, kind of similar to that,
Yeah.
but they don't have definitions. I feel like if we're the tip of the spear, if we're the tip of the spear in the electrical industry, we should have definitions.
And
I
then
mean,
define the
we're changing the
national
game.
agreement. National agreement defines it, right?
Definitions straight up. straight up. And they have 5 classes.
The only reason I asked my first question is because no matter whether you have a definition or 7 people, 9 people, whatever,
Well,
if that person still comes from that culture where that guy with the cheap little rotor hammer just trains 60 people,
Well,
there's 60 people that don't have that mindset. They don't care what the definition says, they're going to bow down every time.
I know that, but
So how do you? I think more than definition, you need to get that culture change.
the work,
It's hard. It's the hardest part.
the work we're
The
doing
hardest
now,
part.
the work we're doing now is addressing that.
That's true.
So we're doing our part, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'm doing my part on the job site. I'm biting dudes. I'm guys. You might run into guys say, "Fuck that guy, Luis. He's too hardcore."
Yeah.
You know, you might
You're
just,
too union. You're too
watch out what
union.
you say. Watch out what you say around that guy.
I don't want to
You know what
work with Luis. I
Yeah,
like to go to a bar with him.
we'll get nothing done.
I don't want to work with him.
We'll get nothing done. So like, I know I'm pulling my weight, and I would assume that everyone else is gonna,
Sure.
because this is going in a direction that eventually guys like us are gonna run into a wall, or we're all gonna break through that wall together. We're setting it up to go that way.
So foremen, the foreman, depending on what shop, what job site, what particular floor you're on, has different roles. So once you start to define something,
Pigeonhole people.
yes, and now that contract say, well, you're talking about he doesn't fit that definition, he's doing this, so he don't need to be paid. So you have to watch it when you start defining too much. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. And if you go the opposite way,
We've all been on job sites where we can think of an example like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to think long term.
and then we also have a thing as me as fire alarm guy. A lot of people want, a fag. Yeah, that's me. Hey,
Proud fag.
got property in New Zealand. I could do it I could do it in like probably 64 plus countries. Being a fag everywhere.
All right, yeah.
Anyways,
Let's start talking about cigarettes. And, get back to the
but
point.
into the point, because in a lot of our locals, fire alarm work pays tech. Now, we get the struggle, and it's not really foreman. Well, this is the thing. Foreman and senior tech, let's just say tech and senior tech is different than foreman and GM. You need to stop trying to equate them, because you can have an installer with a level of understanding that he can be paying a senior tech at a different company because of the size of the company and the lack of knowledge that people at that company said have. And then you can also have installers, who are generally installers, who say, oh, I want to do wire examination and wire proofing. And I'm dealing with this right now. I'm not anything, and I'm paying tech rate, and I got to go back and fix it. So now I'm paying tech rate, and honestly, I shouldn't have paid installer. The company shouldn't have paid anything. Like really, it's just burnt hours, because everybody wants the more money. Where I don't think the inside program. I don't know. I'm not an inside wireman. Does the inside program have guys? So that's the thing. Like, if you work on a certain system, if a guy's working on controls, he's still an inside wireman.
So this is where
Until he's running people.
this is what I
And
believe.
so
we should
this
do.
is the
We
conundrum.
should, what we should expect. We should expect to get paid for the work that we're performing. Whatever rate we should be getting for that work that we're performing, that's what we should expect to get paid. We shouldn't expect to be paid foreman all the time just because. I'm a foreman now. And I expect foreman work every time. No, you should get whatever the job you're doing. You should get a rate of pay. Our contract says you get for that kind of work. You should get paid.
Contracts are the minimum, right? They
Yes.
can always do
Contracts
above
are
and
That's
beyond.
the minimum.
Maybe
That is
that's
the
the rest of
minimum.
your career.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. If you're running a job, a true job, the whole thing, and you only have 4 guys on the job, you're a senior tech. Well, if you're doing it for tech and below, like, good for you. I'm not going to be angry.
You're dealing with the
And I-
shop, with the customers, with the empire. You're in that role.
You need to get it. That's the minimum.
Yeah, it's always the minimum. You always can get paid over, but you cannot get paid under. But I'm mentioning this because I am tired of the fact that people feel like they have to try out. I gotta work as a foreman
The
to make
trial-
sure that I'm good enough so that the company will, then they'll bump me up. They see that I can do the
No, they
job.
won't.
How about this? The trial wage. We'll give you $1 over. Installer.
Yeah.
Try out, bro.
Thank you.
10 years later, hey, you're almost there, buddy.
Does
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
actually
You're
is
almost
that
there.
a real thing?
Keep it
Bro,
up.
it's a real fucking thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, bro.
It's a
Just
real
go to a
fucking
different
thing.
company.
Listen,
Go on Reddit and study for a couple weeks. Just go to a different company. Try
Hey, look.
harder.
you know who you are.
Get outside the box.
I'm going to say it right now. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who you are. And you know who you are that accepted that bullshit. You on this forum. I know you are. There's multiples of
There's
you.
a lot of us that
So-
have done that.
So all that trial, I mean, Pete, speak on this. Is there some trial fucking wage to do foreman work in the
You
inside
can find
wiring
that
program?
agreement, show it to me.
I'm saying. Okay, so look,
You can find the tryout wage.
not to harp on you guys too bad, but it's time to change that shit because that should not. He didn't believe it existed.
No, I've never met anybody who did anything like that.
That should not exist nowhere, not nowhere.
No.
And I don't care how
Where's
busy
Walker?
your shop
Walker
is.
can
I
speak
remember
on that
talking to
too.
people out in the field as an agent, they were getting
The tryout
$2 more.
period to see if you're
What
good
is that?
enough to get the foreman
Well,
wage.
not really that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Have you done that? Or did you know someone who did that?
I did constantly. I've moved up in almost every company I've been to, so I have.
Yeah,
Getting
but
a trial wage?
but that's the thing. You had to do like a trial, like $1 over, to show
No,
that you're
not
a
even
foreman.
$1, nothing.
No, I did it for installer wage.
Yeah, see?
Until they finally straightened up and paid me what I
Yeah,
needed to be paid.
yeah.
So,
That happened at see.
Well, that's because you're not doing fire alarm. That's all I'm saying.
so
Hey,
look,
I did it with data.
so
Data.
hey, so look, so that's the thing, right?
Thank you,
And-
John.
And let's address the data,
Good.
right? They treat data like they're mules, and you guys are way more than mules.
Yeah.
You know, look at the guys that come in from like utility companies like Comcast and PG&E, not PG&E, but AT&T, right? They don't know about the coke can rule. They don't have no respect for the Velcro. They don't know, they don't know about kinks and twists, and they don't know how to work a fluke. Man, you're more than just a cable monkey, right? You're more than a cable monkey. It takes skill to do that job right. Now, it may not take as much skill
Johnny,
than
toss that.
fire alarm, but it takes fucking skill. It's a legit trade, and don't sell yourself short.
Correct.
Don't ever sell yourself short, because then you're selling me short, and you're selling her short. Because I'm one I'm one comment or decision away from being an installer on a data crew, and I don't want to go over to that data crew and have to deal with the shit that I dealt with when I was in this thing in 2012. Because I like to believe that we made some progress. But it's up to you guys, the installers on the ground. You guys are our backbone. Because foreman, no? Installer? Tech. Foreman. Whether you're tech or a senior tech, right? You're a foreman. You're partly management. We gotta delve in that little gray area. Right?
Like the Pope.
Installer.
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 Installer. You gotta get between
Let's
God and the
see
people.
here.
Back,
Oh,
you guys are the. Hold on. I want them to hear this. You guys are the backbone of this thing. You guys are the backbone of this thing. So you guys need to step up. I'll step up with you. Like all my guys, I have their back. You know what I'm saying? And all your senior techs need to have your installers back. That's the backbone of this thing. And that's how things gonna work from the installers out.
Solidarity right there.
And you got to teach them. You got to keep moving. I said it earlier, but it's not good for your mental health. And honestly, if your whole career is holding on to one job, there's ebbs and flows in this industry. And you need to take what the management can give you and get that training, and you need to teach the people under you, or the workers underneath you, and hopefully they will take over your position and you will push up to the next.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you're really working at it, you might work yourself completely out of what we're talking about as a scale, and you can keep working for the union
Or not.
and it's just whatever. But you can't just hold on and hold others down and then make sure that they're doing foreman work under you and not getting paid. It's not okay.
Amen.
But on the flip side, for people who are trying to take fire alarm work, and I understand it's a higher rate, and you really can't do it, don't do it. because it makes life hard for some people.
I mean, it makes more hours. I mean,
No, there is no more hours, bro.
hours ain't my job to give a fuck.
I'm doing hours. I mean, yeah, I'm getting paid, but I am doing Goldman Sachs level of cooking the books to get this basic thing that we need to make sure there's no ground faults. We're cutting open walls. I'm finished. It's horrible. Yeah,
Okay,
we're doing
so-
bad things because
If you're
people
a
are saying they
if
can
you're
do
a
it and they
foreman
can't.
and you want to have a more lax job, make sure people under you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Educate
Cutting
them,
open
make sure they
walls.
know how to do their job, and then you
We're
can relax.
cutting
Otherwise,
walls.
you're doing double work because you're doing formal work plus their work. So, educate, teach. Make sure
Yes.
everyone knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Give them feedback.
Tell us you don't know.
So
Yes.
that's our fourth. Was our fourth, third?
That was third.
That was three. So three is foreman.
Okay.
Right? I think we all agree on that foreman thing. So now we're not telling y'all. We're not trying to lead y'all. This is just to get y'all going, get your brains kind of going, to see where if y'all can come with some ideas.
Okay. So the next one.
Hey, where do you live at?
Everyday life.
Yeah, super life. Don't put any personal information
No
on there.
addresses.
He's like, yeah,
No
I'm living
addresses.
good.
No personal phone number.
Doing all right.
Okay. Oh, those are 4. Okay.
What's up?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's East Bay.
You guys ready for number 5? Number 5.
Like,
Number five.
what I like to call like Pinole, Walnut Creek, and Chasing.
Talking about
Isn't
Ramon
that
and their
nice?
travel.
Oh, travel.
Party.
Don't
Fun
travel
day.
unless you got a company vehicle and you're getting senior check.
Okay, once. Okay.
My son's
He didn't mean that. One.
Vaping
Everybody just chime in on this.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
Usually
so-
pretty good with that.
I don't even need to read this, but
Yeah, we don't need to read it.
no.
So first off, so
Where's mine?
There's no more.
let me get this
Oh,
out.
there's like
Give me a shot of beer. So
It was
Right here.
4.
First of all,
Hey,
so
that's not
okay, so before we get into this, right? Before we get into the subject, I want to say that priority number 1 is to enforce this.
BRB.
This is the least enforced stipulation in our contract.
He just left, right?
Would you agree? All right. So,
Yes, you have to enforce it. Otherwise, yes, you're right.
so
You're right.
I've been at too many places where guys are like, "Oh, I'm gonna put it on my taxes. It's $38 a week, right?" Enough of that. All right. This is money owed to us, and if you're sitting at home, I want you to think about how much money you lost here. It could be a phone bill. It could be a car payment. Think about that.
Could be the difference between your kid going to a state school or a UC. Telling you.
Or a city college.
Well, hey, I
Oh,
would
no,
say
hey,
college.
nothing-
What are you talking about? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, we already seen the move. We already seen the jug.
Way to go, Tessie. It's all you. You have the
High
master
tech coolers over
plan.
here, bro. High tech coolers.
Thank you. Bust that out. Put
Okay.
it on
Hey, does anybody have a tank of CO2 in their truck?
I didn't know we had it.
Because you can make it cold real quick.
Oh my god.
I learned that from Dave Early.
I'm not getting any more of that. I don't want more of that.
Sorry.
So,
Hey, John.
No, I'm someone who does not like to travel. I have a family. I have small kids. I do not like to travel, so I refuse.
Hey, take that picture.
And I've been working steady
I'll
for
take
a
it
year.
warm.
Except for the exception
You guys
of
already
this
go?
week.
hold on.
It's too
Hey, yo,
hot here.
everybody.
It's
Yo.
Alright, it's all good.
We're on live. People are watching and they
Say it
care.
again. Say it again, Tess.
Oh, I just said I don't like to travel because I have a family and I need to get home in a decent hour because I have 2 small kids. I have a husband I have to take care of too, like a 3rd kid. I gotta get you back.
We already know. We already know.
Yeah,
We
It's
know.
all good,
Yeah.
dude. Don't worry
It's all
about it.
good.
Man, traveling is very inconvenient for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us too.
So get the jacket.
If I wanted to travel, I should have the choice if I want to travel or not. And I do. Like I'm okay with saying no to work. I turn down work.
A choice without getting penalized, right?
Yeah, And I haven't seen any penalty for it, so I keep doing it. But I know people are scared to say no because they feel like if they say no, then they'll get that out.
I feel
And it's
too.
happened.
I
It's
feel
happened.
too that it's important to stick up for yourself, and if you say
Yeah.
no, then a company might respect that. Be like, okay, we can't send her 2 hours away. We'll keep her working here. So, you know, if you have a backbone, and you know, stick up for yourself.
And
As
as
far as
long
how
as
it
you know,
goes.
especially when work was good, it's like there's no way they would sit me because they need workers. So there's
Yeah, and I can tell you, I worked for a large. Everybody who knows me, I worked for a large contractor for many years. When I came back from New Zealand during the pandemic, I had a job in Sacramento, and some guys were driving from San Jose to Sacramento every day. I was like, hey, we could do the book thing, and honestly, I don't even know if I want to do it. And they were like, well, we need you to do X, Y, Z at this job. And I was like, well, hey, I got this Airbnb. The guy's really chill. This is what I'm paying. And they're like, cool, we'll pay for the parking and we'll pay for the spot. You guys just need to bring it up. You don't have to be aggressive. Anybody who's worked with me, you know, I'm not acting sometimes the way you know I act sometimes. I'm not acting like that with management. I just bring it up. And you should bring it up as well and be like, hey, we can make this work. This is what I got going on. And if he knows that I'm going to buy out for 4 weeks or however X long you're going to be there, we get a discount, and then they're happy to pay, and then they pay your parking, and it's not a deal. You get your money, and you're good. But you also have to be, you know, logical and have the work, and you know, you got to show up 5 days a week. That's another thing we got to talk about with our people. You gotta,
I heard
you gotta
somebody.
Show up.
no Mondays and no Fridays off.
So
This is not
unfortunately,
allergic Thursday.
this is one thing I heard a brother say.
Allergic to Thursday. Well, that's because you got paid on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Allergic to Thursdays. All right. Sometimes they're allergic to Fridays as well.
So I heard Foreman tell me one time. He said, "I'm not gonna ask you to run. Don't fucking crawl."
Yeah.
And we have to put the effort out. That's what they're paying extra for. They're paying for the training and the effort. You know, because Tyco and Siemens and I don't know what's the other fucking company called, the one with the bear on it. It's called fucking Northland or some shit,
Yeah, no,
right?
they're out of Fremont.
Yeah, right. They're paying their guys shit. The top guys might be getting tech, maybe, right? And they're the anomaly. Everyone else is getting. I gotta share. I gotta share an apartment with my homeboy, and my cousin, money,
They hire S&C.
right? So
So
the fact of the matter is, we're in a better place than that. We gotta maintain this.
Well, I mean, what I see a lot of that too is I do take a piece of the non-union mentality, because that's if you're not working, you're not eating. That whole thing. It's like,
You gotta do what you
That's just a trade mentality.
yeah.
That's the trade. That's the whole trade.
I,
You don't
I
work,
think
you
it's
don't
I
eat.
think it's more so too.
Yeah.
The non-union
And
trades, I think
so,
it's really.
oh, the point was that I was trying to make was that these guys give out buku effort because they're already making scraps. And then to collect all that scrap takes 110% of their effort. You come into this union, that doesn't mean you're taking a fucking break. That means the conditions are better,
Oh yeah.
the pay is better, and we're not gonna ask for that 10%. That 10% is for your family. Just give us 100% for 8 hours. That's it, and you've held up your part of the bargain.
7 to 3:30.
2 to 6,
6 to 2.
6 to 2:30.
6 to 2.
6 to, yeah.
5 to 1:30.
We started saying,
And then we get a shift. We get the shift, and they pay.
yeah, they better pay that 1 hour
They do
overtime
pay.
in the
And
morning.
they do pay, but you better be like that's the
They
thing.
show
I
up.
worked
Because
at
they
4,
don't.
I worked at
Like
4
you
to,
said.
I worked at 4 to noon. Yeah, that was a weird shit.
Yeah. I've done that.
2 hours of overtime in the morning.
Actually, we did that.
That's a
We did
great
like
shift.
5 to do.
We really started to get into it.
4 to
But
noon.
now we're shifting.
Wake up at 2 in the morning. Wake up at 2 in the morning.
See, so for y'all, for
Are
some of
you
y'all
sleeping
that
in
are
the car?
watching, for
Right
some of
next
y'all
to
that
the
are
job
watching
site?
that I know personally that have been at the same shop their whole career, it's just possible. There's shops that pay it. He said it. He said it.
Yeah. And I left that shop, and I'm doing guys, just get it in here.
Know your worth.
Yeah, get it in here. Believe in yourself. Don't look at the books. You can go on Reddit. Like I was just telling an electrician, you guys really want to know how deep this stuff gets. I was just telling an inside wireman, general foreman, who was having a hard time with an emergency shut off with the relays. He had a problem with relay logic. And we were talking about relay logic and like where he was going wrong. And it turned out it was actually with the switchgear. And the switchgear actually had a relay in it that was going to powerize the neutral because it felt like, yeah. Anyways, that's beyond the point. Sorry, I'm nerding out. Anyways, guys just need to read. You need to believe in yourself, and then whatever you want to get into, whether it be fire alarm, access, even in the high end data, lighting control. Trust me, if you're really good at lighting controls, these companies will have to pay you inside rate to do the lighting controls, like fiber. You just have to learn, and you have to believe that you are worth it, and you have to get the knowledge in your head and have the confidence to stare at somebody who makes 3 times the amount that you make. Because when we get above the GF and the PM, yeah, this guy makes, yeah, he lives the life you wish you could live. You have to have the confidence to look him in the eye and be like, no, you're wrong. I know it's right. And then fix the situation.
Amen. Don't let their ways override your logic.
Because they don't know. Not to be rude, Pete. I'm not saying the inside wiremen don't know, but if we're going to talk about like just my thing, fire alarm, they don't know. They don't know. I spent hours programming these things, and then they tell me, well, your program makes our FSD doesn't work. No, your FSD doesn't work because you guys have a ground fault on the neutral. No, it's your relay. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, guys. You have to believe in yourself.
All right.
Anything is possible.
Anything. So, back on travel.
Sorry.
Let's enforce this bad boy first and get this down to 20 miles.
Yeah, for now it's 35, right? 35 is the cutoff for now. If you travel over 35, you get extra pay. You get like a stipend, whatever it is, and then.
No, you don't get stipend. You get
for the day. Right?
No, that's in a personal vehicle. Yeah. After the 35th mile, you start getting what is it? 55.5%? No, 55.5 cents a mile. That's going to the job. Back home. Both ways. Yeah. In a company's vehicle, you're getting like $7.50 a day if you're going over 35. If you're going over 45, you're getting $14.50 a day. If you're going over 65, then you're getting like $60 a day on top of your wage. Yeah. It is your responsibility to get that shit.
And do not let shops use multiple locations, to determine mileage. Because right now it's mileages from your home or the shop, whichever is closer. Do not let these shops use multiple locations. Like, I have a shop in Tracy, so no, I can't charge you to travel over there because we have a home over there. You need to verify with your hall that location is considered a shop, because there's like requirements for a shop to be considered a shop. They have to have access. There's certain things that they have to have people there that are actually working. So there's different requirements. So verify with your shop if that location is a legit recognized shop before you let them say, oh no, we have this there and that there. You gotta verify. Okay? Verify. Anything else you want to say about travel? We need to get paid for bridges. We gotta get paid for parking, especially in San Francisco, where we always fly.
No, they gotta pay for your parking.
Our companies need to have them pay. Right now they don't. Right now they don't have to. We need to change that.
Shout out to all my painters. I love the painters union. I love them heavy. I'm on the Building Trades Council in San Francisco. But they're not the most assertive unit in their union, and they get paid parking.
Yeah. So I've always had my parking before. You guys just say it, and if they don't want to give it to you, granted, it's hard on the books, but be like, I mean, honestly, get your guys together, and all of you guys want painting.
Well, I mean,
Not painting, parking.
so maybe the solution isn't really try to work out your own deal, because this is what happens. I see a lot of guys try to make little covert deals with PMs, and they end up getting bent over. You know what I mean? And it might work out for a year or two, but then year 5, year 6, year 4, 5, and 6 are getting ran ragged.
In my opinion, anytime you negotiate for yourself outside of a collective bargaining agreement, you're screwing yourself and every other brother out there.
Amen. So siblings. So they have to understand. And look,
It's not yours either, is it?
no, that's okay. It's a wrap. We want paid parking, okay? Because
No, we're fighting less,
If-
okay?
I'm on the camera.
and we don't make no. The reason we don't get it. The reason we don't get it is because we ain't asked for it. We ain't demanded it. Right? Remember, this contract came from local 202, was copy and pasted to say addendum 2.
That's true.
So there was no caretaking in building this thing, because we weren't a part of it on the inception of it. Now that we're getting to be part of it, now we can start writing the goddamn ticket.
We gotta clean it up.
So now we gotta clean it up.
Gotta clean it up. Put a program
And if
on
it's
it.
good enough for our brothers on the inside, it's good enough for us.
So I ever watched this video on unions and how unions work. Our power comes from when we say no. So even if it's not like black and white in the contract, and we agree, like we don't want to pay parking, we all should agree, even if it's not in the contract. Say no. Say no if the company asks us to go park somewhere for $35 for the day, and expect us to pay for our own money for it. Police, I want you to go work out, in San Francisco. And you're gonna have to pay for your own parking over there. All you have to do is say, "No, I'm not gonna pay for parking." Heck no, you guys pay for it.
Yeah.
You want me to do it? Pay for it.
Well, how would we say something like that?
All
Respectful.
right, we'll go find somebody else who will go park there.
Hey, Travis, go to San Francisco.
And then I'm gonna be like, well, I've always had my parking paid for, and you know what I do, so no. But I mean, I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna just look in their eyes and be like, you guys know what you need to get done. I know what you guys need me to get done. We both know.
All right.
But honestly, we need to be collective with
We
it.
have to be collective. Exactly. That's the point.
That part.
Collective. We have to agree, and we have to all enforce it. Because if the company sees that we're all saying no, then they're gonna have to pay it if they want us to do it.
Yep. And really quick, Steve Quiroz. I'm gonna stop fucking up your name. I swear. Stephen Quiroz says the fax machine does not make a shop. Shout out to you, bro. You remember. You remember that shop that who we will not mention. Take a spool of fiber, flip it over to the side, put a fax machine on, and call it a shop, so we don't have to pay their guys travel. Amen to that. And that's why. But see, look. That right there was an obvious violation of our intelligence, right? Or an insult to our intelligence. That one in the contract in 2019, which needed a full staff. You needed a full staff and a place to work in order for it to be a shop. And on top of that, let me not get into addendum 2. Remember the basic principle we talked about during our podcast, episode 3? So that right there, so their letter of assent is where we're judging this from. Not even if they got a whole shop. I know shops that have shops in San Francisco, Redwood City, San Mateo, San Francisco, Oakland, San Leandro. But the shop that's on the letter of assent is where they're judging these things from. That's the base. That's the base. So,
I don't know. My kid wants to watch our stream.
That's the Tessie question.
Oh man, I gotta give him the link. He's like, "Oh, Dad, like, I guess his mom saw it or something."
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So,
she has access to my Facebook, so that's a whole other set.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Anyways, guys, what we really need to talk about is in these times, and I can talk about this because it kind of came in on the back end of the last thing. So I'm jumping you from job to job because jobs aren't running full force as they used to because every tech company, every financial, every company that is paying for these development projects are going to be slowing them down because the interest rates on the loan. So you need to understand that just because you're on a big project, it can be stopped. And you'll see it sometimes when you drive around. When you see, I mean, we're all driving early, but when you see at 6 a.m., if the crane looked the same way that it did last night and it just stays in the same position, that lets you know that the job kind of is taking a break. When we're moving around from jobs, we got to keep the idea in our head that we have to keep we have to keep our CBA valid, and that's where they kind of get us. Oh, things are good,
and if you're going from job to job and you're an installer in your own personal vehicle, they have to pay your parking. Now that you bring that up, yeah, the CBA, they have to pay your parking. If you go from, let's say I'm at 350 Mission, right, and they want me to go to 3812 Gary, that's on two different sides of the city. So every time I hit that meter, I got to record how much I'm paying because the shop, however, has to pay you for that because they send you from one job to another. So in a personal vehicle, you're kind of, you know what? That brings up an interesting question. If your company vehicle does not have a contractor sticker, is that a gray zone for paying for parking?
Your vehicle's not marked, you're driving on personal vehicles.
No. If you're in a company vehicle and they didn't give you a contractor sticker, right? How would you interpret that?
Yeah. Well, if you're in a company vehicle, your vehicle's clearly marked.
Yes, but it's a contractor sticker.
Commercial
city,
plate,
right? No, not a commercial plate. Contractor sticker.
Like
So
even
that
the
little
state
blue
of
reflective
California
joint. Yeah. So if you're say
minimum
for
size
the city of San Jose or somewhere in the
sticker on
county,
the door or whatever.
if you're a contractor, you can park in the yellow zones,
Oh,
right? So are you still on the hook for paying that meter? That's a good question, and that might need to be addressed later on.
Yeah, you're on company time. It's working for that company.
Right? I would agree too. Yeah, yeah. So just remember that, guys. If they send you from one spot to another, you got to pay for parking again. That's on them. That's on the shop. Don't take no for an answer.
You're ready to fix this camera again.
Oh, no.
you can do it. Look at Pete. Oh, get low.
Get low.
Pete was over here twerking.
There, bro.
He's twerking on the campaign.
There, bro. That was it. I just needed a few. We may get into that.
We're about to wrap it up, right? But hey, really, what we need to talk about, and I think I don't know. We talked about the contract, but what we need to do, what we need to do, workers, ladies and gentlemen. I've been involved in the union at different levels as an apprentice because of John's Hotel. I got very involved, and I was part of a negotiation, and I saw the way this whole CIR things works, which may actually happen now again. Doesn't really matter how hard we try. They can just say, no, we're going to go to CIR. And that may happen, but we have to kind of, you guys, it's kind of like if your girl throw a party or your guy, I don't know, I don't want to be whatever. If your partner throws a party and you're not even really liking the people there, you got to show up, right? You got to show up, shake hands, see people. We really need to start doing that because when they see numbers, they think twice. It's really not that of a smart way of a metric, but that's kind of the way our business works. When they see a big group of people show up, they're like, oh, this isn't a fight we want. And then they'll pay a person in our own union to tell us it's the best deal we're going to get. And we'll say again, no, thank you. And we'll get a better deal. And the CIR will see it. Everybody sees it. We really need to show up in numbers. And even if you don't like people, even if you have social anxiety, just show up. I mean, you could just say hi, or you can even tell us, I don't want to talk to you. But just be there. Be ahead. And it'll be better for us all. I think.
It's funny how I'd say from experience, 3 guys that said no at the same time changed the conditions for a crew of 20. Just 3 fucking guys. The first 3 that stepped up and said, nah, it was a non-issue. It wasn't even a fight because they assumed the rest of us were going to be on that same page.
Yep.
It's not hard. But the ones that didn't step up first gotta stand up after. You just got to. It's not that hard. You gotta say nothing. If they corner you, hey, is my job is my job in jeopardy? Do I need to talk to a rep? Do I need a rep here? You know how fucking scared that makes people.
So I'm gonna show a picture real quick. Let's see over here.
Sean's have to do a good job, guys.
So, and the whole reason why another reason why I brought Pete here, who's running for business manager, I went to him when I wanted to figure out how to help our classification. And he directed me to say, okay, this is what you guys need to do. You guys need to, first of all, build your solidarity. You guys need to, know each other, care about each other, have each other's back, like build that solidarity. That's the number one. That's the first thing you gotta do. Then you gotta get in the face of the leadership or people making decisions, Nika, whatever. We had negotiations up. So he told me, have a rally at your LMCC meeting where Nika and IBW are at, and try to get on the agendas to speak and say, hey, we have negotiations coming up. Let's do this. Let's work together. Let's try to get something good for S&C, and we deserve it. And here's a picture again. This is me and people that came with me to put up signs and ask for cars to honk their horns at the LMCC meeting. And we made noise. That's the thing. Making noise. Telling people and showing Nika that we've had enough. We deserve more. We are not going to be quiet. If we are quiet, if we don't say anything, that tells them that we're accepted, we're okay, there's no problem.
Close mouth is never going to get fed.
Thank you.
So
Have you tried the pot?
to that point,
That's the everything.
as some of y'all may already know, that I was in the room in Washington D.C. during our last CIR session.
Yes.
Okay, so one of Nika's biggest points was no one's complaining. So yes, they deserve what they get. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. Nika's defense was no one's complaining. That's why they deserve what they got. Okay.
Hey, a lot of times squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right. So it's time that we start expressing our dissatisfaction. I don't care if it makes the PMs uncomfortable, because guess what? They have a boss, and that boss is the owner of the company. That owner of the company made an agreement via our CBA with me through my union. So that PM is a middleman. Straight up, middleman. He ain't got no power. She ain't got no power. Nothing. His or her boss made an agreement with me via my union. And that's what we stand with. So you make your dissatisfaction known. So if we go to CIR next time, and it's very likely we might, because they're trying to sell this we ain't got no leverage bullshit. But I'll tell you now, things ain't gonna work out the way they want them to if we express our dissatisfaction. So let's get this.
And don't forget, the last time we went to CIR, we actually had a big win. Last time we went, right?
Yeah,
we actually got more. We got more money than what Nika wanted to give us, right?
Yep.
So we shouldn't be scared to go to CIR. I mean, it's not always going to be in our favor, but it's not always going to be in their favor either. So you can't use that as an excuse to get scared and not go.
And I really believe that S&C hand sitting there in the rafters, holding everyone accountable, makes a difference. Because when we're not in the room, it's like, I need to get back to this. I need to go do that. And it almost seems like you want to rush through, but when we're in the room, and we're the people that got to live under these conditions, with this wage, it's a whole nother level, right? A lot of you conspiracy theorists like to believe that the Sparkies want to hold us down because they don't like us for some fucking, man, they don't know us. They don't know us. My business manager knows both my kids. knows my ex-girlfriend. He knows my family. He knows my family. He sees me when I come into the general. He asks me how I'm doing. He sits with me on the building trades council. He knows me. He knows that I gotta live making half of what he makes.
How does he know
I make
you,
a third of what he
Luis, how does he know you?
because I show up.
Yeah.
We need to show up.
We need to participate in the union that we're part of.
And honestly, you ain't gonna fight for somebody who ain't gonna fight for themselves. Let's keep it above,
Man.
That
seriously.
point, that's the big
You ain't gonna
takeaway
fight.
right now.
I'm not like honestly, Nate. Tessie is keeping me in this fight. Sometimes after 10 years, I'm like, I don't want to fight for y'all that don't want to fight. I'm gonna keep it above. I'm like, I fought for mine. I fight for the other people that fight. A lot of people, they're willing to backbite and do a lot of weird stuff. And you know it's weird when you do it. So we all need to hold each other accountable. If you don't have that thing in the middle of your heart, just think someone else is watching you. And honestly, we are watching. Like,
Hell yeah, we watch.
if you think that in this trade you're just going from job to job and that you go from contractor to contractor and we don't know your name, we do.
Man,
We do.
I'm telling you.
And sometimes people who get spun, it's shouldn't even say it's a union thing. Anyways, it is what it is. We need to really stand up for each other. We need to stay as a unit.
Even if we don't like
Regardless.
each other.
Yeah.
Even if we don't like each other.
Yes.
We're all in this together.
It's a family. We don't choose our family.
No.
Every last one of y'all made an effort to get here. Just like me, Tessie, and Travis did. And all the homies in the back. We all made an effort to be here, and now we here. Goddamn, we stuck together.
I don't know how much time you have left, but I want to thank on that. I want to thank the three of you, Luis, Tessie, Travis, for letting me sit down with you and let me
Here, get on
just
the
for
mic.
a minute.
Get on
It's
the
easier.
camera.
It's easier.
Get on
Come
the
that way.
camera.
just be.
Here, I'll see that.
So I want to thank Travis. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother.
Oh,
Long
no.
time. But thank you, Tessie. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we don't have to be in the same job. So we're brothers, we're sisters, and that's what it's about. So I want to honestly thank you for letting me sit down with you, let me hear what needs to be said. We're on the same field, we're in the same house, but I don't eat at the same table that every S&C member does. I had no idea you was a big fire. No idea. Last I saw him was seriously. Last I saw you was what, 5-6 years ago?
Oh, longer than that, brother.
Right?
2015.
Maybe.
Yeah, 2015. I
Maybe.
told you guys to me. But I was a fag then too.
You know.
He's always been a fag. He's always been a fag.
Hey,
So
hey, it's the Bay Area. Fags get to the money.
But I do want to. I met Walker today. I haven't seen Sean. It's been a little while since he was. Good dude. Good dude. So I'll tell, Jason. So thank you. I just want to thank you, honestly, sir. And you guys are holding it down. You got a podcast going, holding it down, doing what needs to be done. So thank you very much.
Hey, good luck. Good luck with the
Thank you.
campaign.
Thank you.
And hey, you never know. We might be seeing each other
Hey, I hope so. I hope we
in
do.
the field.
That's
where it's
right, man.
real.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we've been on for a while now.
Yeah.
How many more we got
Is
left?
anybody still watching?
Let's see. We got 5 people watching.
Oh,
so-
Poppy, what's up?
All right.
They're watching right now.
Hey.
Let's get to it, man. What's the next? What's the next
We
one?
gotta get involved. We gotta have each
I'll
other's
be
back.
right back, guys.
We gotta care for each other. We gotta have. I pulled this out. We gotta vote because our leadership that we vote for makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
We want people who will support S&C, who will help us,
Brody. So wait a
who
second.
care, who will do some work for us because there's a lot of work to do. Okay. So if you're local 322, look for this letter in the mail and make sure you put your vote in the mail. Okay. You have till Memorial Day. I recommend you put your ballot in by Memorial Day weekend so it gets in the mailbox in time because it has to be mailed. It has to arrive at the PO box by June 2nd. So mail it by Memorial Day weekend. I have Pete here because he's been agent for us and he knows our concerns. He's here. He's willing to sit with us and chat with us and talk to us about our issues. He knows us. So and you know, me, if you see Pete, you will see me. I will be right there because we work very well with each other. So if you like what I'm doing for S&C and what we're all here doing, vote Pete in as our business manager, and we can do a lot of good things for our classification.
And
if,
six.
you know, if you haven't had elections yet, you guys need to run. We need S&C representation. I think at my local, we only have one person running, unfortunately, for S&C. We need, like, you, executive board, you've been trying to get on there.
Yeah, I've gotten 2 years in so far. This time around, I took a break from running because I want the new S&C structure, our unit meetings, to grow legs. Once it can run on its own, I'll run for executive board again. But of course, that's the time. In local 6, all our incumbents ran unopposed this year, so there's not really much elections, only for like e-board and exam board and stuff like that. And I'll still sit on the exam board as the appointed S&C handler. But first, get schooled up, and let go of that mentality that we're in competition with the smart people or some shit. Like, we're in competition with the non-union. That's what in competition. Remember that as you go. Once you get to understanding it, just tap in with us, and then we'll start running for office, man. Because we either at the table or on the menu. That's just a plain fact.
And me and Louise, we have a podcast going on. We have a show every Sunday at 1:30. So we're talking about stuff just like this. If you want to keep with the conversation and keep learning.
What's our next episode?
Our next episode on Sunday, we are continuing our last episode, right?
Scope part 2.
Scope part 2. We're gonna dive deeper into fire alarm and fiber optics.
Yeah.
And how that.
Hey, shout out to the homies over there for pulling up and getting on the cast with us.
Yes.
I know it's a little disorganized. We went off on tangent, but you know what? It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Friday, man.
We got the weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
for real.
you,
Cheers.
Union, for having
Where's
the
my
weekend.
beer?
I know. Why am I the only one? What? Nobody has a
I
beer
gotta drive
in
back
their
to the
hand
city.
but me. What is
But
up
her.
with that?
I gotta drive to the
Where's
city. I got an
everyone's beer?
excuse. I'm gonna go get mine though. Shit. So you want to sign off?
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Thank you everyone for tuning in and or if you're watching this after we're live. Like, thank you for taking the time and listening in, and hopefully you learned something. Hopefully something touched you in the heart, and you know.
If you made it this far, thank you.
Thank you. I know
We've been a
I
handful.
know we've been here for a while already. So yeah, thank you for hanging in there.
And don't forget to tap in at 1:30. Lucchini, say hello. Hey, you can't go without saying hi.
Lucas.
Casey.
Want to say hi? You always
Come
want to
say
be
hi
on
to the
YouTube.
world.
Come here. You always want to be a YouTuber, right? Here's your
This is my
chance.
nephew, young Lucchese, right
My
here.
son Lucas. Say hi. Hi.
Good?
Oh,
Or
shit.
This is my
What's up?
familia
One more?
right here.
One more? All right.
All right, guys. Take care. Take care of each other out there. Don't forget, you're always learning. Don't lose that, right? Always learning, and stick to your guns. Know your worth. And just take care of each other out there, right?
Amen. Your name will travel further than you ever will. So stand fast, stand next to each other, and do the right thing. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
We're out here, guys. All right.
Cheers.
One last
For the
shot.
class of 2023,
Guys,
baby.
where's mine?
Congratulations,
All right.
Francis.
Get your shots ready. We're gonna take one last shot with each other. Thank you for attending this barbecue and chat.
Likewise, homie.
This has been great. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to eat this off.
Cheers,
Let's
everyone.
do it again.
Cheers.
Let's do it again.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Cheers, guys.
like
Cheers.
6 weeks from now.
I'll bring my camera. It got multi-zones and shit. Peace out, y'all.
Stay Union.
All right.
Stay hard.